Welcome to video 13, Economic Instability.
Business cycles and characteristics and causes. The two phases of a business cycle are recession and expansion. A recession begins when the economy reaches a peak and ends when it reaches a trough. Expansion is a period of recovery from a recession. Causes of business cycle include external shocks, changes in investment spending, changes in monetary policy, fiscal policy shocks, speculation and bubbles, the combinations of several of these factors. Business cycles in the United States. During the Great Depression, real GDP declined nearly 50%, and the number of unemployed people rose nearly 800%. Causes of the Great Depression included an enormous gap in the distribution of income, easy credit, global economic conditions, and high U.S. tariffs. Reforms established as a result of the Great Depression included Social Security, minimum wage, unemployment programs, Securities and Exchange Commission, or the SEC, and the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation, or the FDIC. After World War II, business cycles became more moderate, with shorter recessions and longer periods of expansion. The Great Recession of 2008 to 2009 was the longest and deepest recession in the United States since the Great Depression. Predicting the next business cycle. Two methods of predicting business cycles are leading economic indicators and econometric modeling. Leading economic indicators include the Dow Jones Industrial Average and the leading economic index. The econometric model is a mathematical model based on an output expenditure model. Inflation is a general rise in prices that can cause instability in the economy. The Consumer Price Index, or CPI, tracks monthly changes in prices paid by urban consumers for a representative market basket of goods and services. The CPI is achieved by dividing the cost of every market basket by the base year market basket cost. Inflation is measured by finding the annual percentage change in the CPI. Creeping inflation, 1 to 3% per year, is not a big problem, but hyperinflation, 500% per year or more, and stagflation, stagnant economic growth and inflation, are bigger concerns. Other price indexes include the Producer Price Index, which is the PPI, and Implicit Price Deflector.
Causes for inflation. Nearly every period of inflation is due to the demand pull, cost push, wage price spiral, and or excessive monetary growth. In demand pull inflation, prices are driven up when all other sectors of the economy try to buy more goods and services than the economy can produce. Cost pull inflation occurs when rising costs of production inputs such as energy and labor drive up the cost of products from manufacturers, thus causing inflation. The wage price spiral occurs when workers are paid higher wages, which producers try to recover by charging higher prices, when in turn forces workers to ask for higher wages, and so on. Excessive monetary growth occurs when the money supply grows faster than real GDP. Consequences of inflation. Steady inflation over time causes steadily declining purchasing power, which can be a problem for retired people and people who are on fixed incomes. Inflation tends to make people change their spending habits. Inflation tempts some people to speculate on rising prices. During long inflationary periods, creditors are generally hurt more than debtors because earlier loans are repaid later with dollars that buy less.
Measuring unemployment. The civilian labor force consists of everyone age 16 and above who is employed or seeking employment. People in the military, in jail, and in mental health facilities are not included. People who are considered unemployed if they made a specific effort to find work, but worked less than an hour per day or per pay period in the most recent week. The unemployment rate is the number of unemployed divided by the number in the civilian labor force. The unemployment rate differs for people of different ages, races, and sexes. Differences in work experience, education, training, and skills play a role, as does discrimination. About 1/3 of unemployed are long term, without work for about 27 weeks or more. The unemployment rate does not count those too discouraged to look for work or those who have only had a part time job. Sources of unemployment. Frictional unemployment occurs when workers are between jobs. It is a short-term condition that causes little economic hardship. Structural unemployment occurs when changes in the economy reduce the demand for workers and their skills. Technological unemployment occurs when workers are replaced by machines or automated systems that make their skills obsolete. Cyclical unemployment is directly related to swings in the business cycle. Seasonal unemployment results from seasonal weather changes or other seasonal factors. Costs of instability. Recession, inflation, and unemployment are all forms of instability that hinder economic growth. The GDP gap is a measure of the economic cost of unemployment. The misery index, also known as the discomfort index, is the sum of the monthly inflation and unemployment rates. Both workers and business owners are affected by uncertainty produced by an unstable economy. Economic stability adds to the political stability of the country because people tend to become dissatisfied and vote incumbents out of office in times of economic instability. Recession, inflation, and unemployment can lead to higher crimes, higher poverty, and more domestic problems. Congratulations, this ends video lesson 13. Please turn in all the rest of your must-dos and take your checkpoint.